Are you looking to take your personal finances to the next level? Well, you're in the right place. Welcome to the Monday Money Tip Podcast, presented by I Was Broke, Now I'm Not, with your host, Joseph Sangle.
Well, welcome to another episode of the Monday Money Tip Podcast. My name is Joe Sangle, and I am fired up to be with you again on this Monday. It is episode number
83.
And that is the voice of my co-host, Megan Hibbard. How are you doing on this fine Monday?
I'm good.
You're fired up?
Yep,
Wintertime has arrived.
It's freezing.
It took a little while to get here to the worldwide headquarters of South Carolina, but we're feeling some cold. We had ice on top of a water puddle. Pretty unbelievable.
Yeah, we were in Gatlinburg this past weekend and it was snowing.
Wow.
So
Look
yeah.
at you. Getting to see the snow. It's awesome. We get to see that maybe once or twice here in South Carolina. And we're fired up for today's topic. I am so excited about it. In fact, I've been cold, so I've been wearing this puffy jacket.
Puffer
Jacket.
Yeah.
Anyhow, it's one I bought at Walmart. And I bought it once when I was out west. I was out in South Dakota, and I wanted to go skiing at Terry Peak, I think is the name of the place I went. And I've needed a nice jacket, but I didn't want to spend a bunch of money on it because I already had all my ski gear back home. And I bought this jacket at Walmart for $19.88.
Wow.
And
it's a nice
David
jacket.
Nimmons was traveling with me. He got one too, and it is our favorite jacket that we both wear ours everywhere.
Yeah.
And it was only $19. Get fired up. And I saved all this money. And that leads us to the question of this episode and what we're going to talk about. Tell everybody what we're going to talk about and the question we're going to answer.
Yes. Today we're going to talk about money saving tips. So our question is, I just got started with my monthly budget. It's really tight. What are some ways I can save money in my budget?
Yes. And so we're going to be talking about savings tips, how to save money, how to get that cheap jacket at Walmart, but also a lot of details of other ways to save money. Common places that we see people save money, maybe even a few that you don't hear a lot of times. And we're going to talk about that. It's going to be fun. We're also going to be launching a savings challenge again this month.
Yeah.
So you can check that out as well. We'll talk about that at the end. But first, tell everybody what our featured resource is for this month of February 2020.
Yes. So this month, our featured resource is the I Was Broke, Now I'm Not study. When you purchase the group study kit this month, you'll receive instant access to the 6 video lesson teaching for free. And if you've already purchased the study kit, you can purchase the instant access to the 6 video lessons for a nominal fee. So visit iwbnin.com and click on /online. So iwbnin.com/online. I'm trying to get ahead of myself to the next section. My brain automatically goes into overdrive.
Yeah, so I encourage you to do that because I know a lot of people have purchased a study kit but haven't been able to join a group. They want to be able to go through the video lessons and all that stuff. And this is a way for you to do this online, on demand. Check it out at iwbnin.com/online. But before we dive in all the savings tips and everything, we're going to go to one of my favorite sections of the podcast. We know what that is. Let's go.
Now it's time to get caught up with our current money events.
This portion of the podcast is sponsored by I Was Broke, Now I'm Not. Take your finances to the next level by utilizing our financial tools and calculators. Visit iwbnin.com and click on Tools. Budgeting templates, debt freedom date calculators, retirement calculators, investment calculators. They're all right there at your fingertips, and they're all free.
Thanks so much. I'm excited for all those free tools. Check those out. But today's current money events section is all about it's my topic. I chose this. I was in a special mood, but it is things I hear people say about money that drives me crazy.
You were a little saucy.
And I think I was saucy and sassy because I think in a recent speaking event, I think God ordained that all of the things that drive me crazy that people say about money showed up at the same event. And it was like, I want to respond this way. I really want to be really sassy, but I'm going to answer kindly because that's what I like to do.
That's good.
But maybe, just maybe, in this episode, I might get a little sassy. So let's go through
version.
maybe 3 or 4 of these here in the current money events section.
All right. The first one. Of course, this stuff works when you have money.
Yeah. And, of course, they don't say it this way. They don't say it so nicely as Megan just shared for you all. It goes more like this. Of course this stuff works when you have money. And they're waggling their head back and forth. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see me do that. I'm an expert at it. But it's literally a person coming up and saying, I don't like what you just taught because I don't have any money. And so it doesn't work. And so what they're wanting to say, this stuff doesn't work for me. It worked for you. It can't work for me. And what I want to say to them is, of course, like I did not invent math. Like, I am not the one who invented income minus outgo equals exactly zero. Like, the phrase is trademark, that's us. But, like, the math is the math.
Right.
And as we all say, if you do not have income, you cannot have outgo. And as Dave Ramsey said, there's a good place to go when you're broke, to work. It's a surefire money-making scheme. And so I really think that people are just saying they're allowing their right now circumstance to really dictate how they respond in the moment of teaching.
Yeah.
They can't, they're so overwhelmed by their mess, they can't move beyond it.
Yeah. And I think hopefully this doesn't step on your toes, but
You were wearing boots today.
yeah, I get a little
So you
sassier
stung-
when
yeah,
I wear
okay.
boots with heels.
There we go.
Yep. So I think the underlying thing for this is people are saying, I don't want to work for it. So all of these things that we're teaching, they take time. They don't instantly happen. It's not an overnight fix. You can't, go to bed and wake up the next morning and be financially free. Maybe if you win the lottery, but like most people, that doesn't happen. And so most of the time, it requires hard work. It requires discipline. It requires you saying no to a lot of things so you can say yes to other things.
There you go.
And so hopefully it's not you that this is you, but maybe one of your friends that you know is saying this. And ultimately what they're saying is like, I don't want to put in the hard work it's going to take. I want an instant, immediate fix, which is what our society is. And that's just not how this is going to work.
So don't say that to me. Of course, this stuff works when you have money.
Yep. All right. The next one. Where in the world do you get 12% growth on your money?
Yeah, and a lot of times they phrase it this way. What bank gives you 12% on your money? And I'm like, none. Well, you said. No, I did not say. You did not listen to me.
Yeah.
There's a difference between saving and investing. And the compound annual growth rate, which is the best measure year-over-year growth of money of the S&P 500 index fund since January 1, 1941. We're talking the outbreak of World War II. The compound annual growth rate, compound average annual growth rate has been 11.42%. That's unbelievable. Now, that's not 12%. There's a lot of mutual funds that have had that. Like I have the American Funds, Investment Company of America Mutual Fund. It's AIVSX ticker symbol. It's older than my father. It's been around since January 1, 1934.
Wow.
So as I say, it's older than my dad, and my dad knew Moses personally. So it's very old.
Your poor dad.
And so, yeah, my poor dad. But here's what I know. He's excited to be old. And that one has yielded 12.1% compound annual growth rate.
Yeah.
So here's what I know. It's not in a bank where you get that growth rate. And what I want to say is, did you hear me? I did not say a bank. I said an investment. There's a wild difference. Okay.
That's good. All right. The next one. It's so expensive where we live, so does this stuff still work?
Oh, this is one of my favorites. Like when I've gotten this pleasure of speaking in Hawaii quite a bit, and I've also been to other high cost of living areas, New Jersey, New York, certain cities, certain really nice areas cost a lot of money to live.
Yeah.
Property tax is very high. Cost of living is very high. And people say, does this stuff still work here? The cost of living is so high. Yes, is the answer. Income minus outgo still equals exactly zero. You still have access to investments. Now, one of the things you can consider is moving somewhere else where the cost of living is lower.
Yeah.
I mean, the one major reason my family set up residence in South Carolina is, in addition to the fact that it has palm trees and Myrtle Beach and Charleston and Kiowa Island and Hilton Head Island, in addition to all those,
Those are good things.
it is because of the very low cost of living.
Right.
And the accessibility of so much stuff, because it frees up money that would ordinarily go to a house. Well, man, for the cost of a small lot in California, I can have a mansion paid for in South Carolina.
Yep.
And so, it's so expensive where we live. Does this stuff still work? Yes, is the answer. That's what I want to respond. Yes, and move on. Maybe a Napoleon Dynamite. Heck yes.
All right. These next two are kind of similar. They come at it from a different angle, so I'll read both of them. Okay, so the first one is it too late for me to start? And the second one is I have plenty of time to save for retirement.
Oh yeah. These I'm gonna be triggered here. Is it too late for me to start? Is usually said by an elderly person, older person. And I have plenty of time to save for retirement is for all those young people. And so let's address it. I had a person recently who raised her hand, waving it in there. Is it too late for me to start? And then she proceeded to list all the issues. Ailing husband who's sick, who's had major medical issues. She's got medical issues. Husband cannot work anymore. She can work very limited. Is it too late for her to start? While the the pessimist would say, yes, it's too late for you to start. Everybody in this room, take a look at this lady and let this be your warning. Start now. Like that would be the really sassy, saucy side of me.
And depressing.
Yeah, and depressing. But the fact is, it's not too late to start. Colonel Sanders started Kentucky Fried Chicken when he was 65 with his first Social Security check. He was broke. He died a multimillionaire and was able to give generously and live an amazing end of his life. It was amazing.
That's good.
And so it's not too late for you to start. And one of the things I like to say is God does not just do math by addition. He also does it by multiplication. But here's the thing. You can't do any of that if you don't invest at all.
Yeah.
So you got to start. And that's what leads us to these young people who say they just have so much time. And, you know, I blinked and I turned from a 20-year-old to a 45-year-old. I don't know how that happened.
Yeah.
I just did. I'm pretty sure if I blink again, I'm going to be like 70 if the Lord allows
Stop blinking.
it. And here's what I know. I need to stop blinking. So here's the thing. Those things drive me crazy. Don't say them. Don't allow yourself to buy into the lies. They're all rooted in lies. And so don't buy the lie. And don't buy what other people say. You know, go live your life. Go invest. Be a good money manager and see all the good that'll come your way. Get fired up. And that's all we have to say about today's current money events section.
Okay, our success story today comes from Debbie, and Debbie says, we paid off our house in 7 years. It's talking to you. So we paid off our house in 7 years, Joseph. Who? Joseph.
Yeah.
Use your full name. And then she said, woohoo, always blessings, never loses.
Yeah. And so we paid off our house in less than 7 years is a key word she says there.
Yeah, good job,
That's
Debbie.
pretty amazing. Woohoo. And I just want to say this. All the time we sit at events and say, you could be debt-free, including your house, in 7 to 10 years. We say it over and over again. You could pay off your house in less than 7 to 10 years. But Joe, what if I live in an expensive area of town? Can it still work for me? Well, you just went back to the current money event section. It drives me crazy. Yes, it applies to you. Are you breathing? Yes, it applies to you. Are you human? Yes, it applies to you. And so I celebrate what Debbie has done, paying off their house. She says our house, so it sounds like there's a
Mr. Debbie.
couple there. And so congratulations to both of you. I know you worked very hard for that. You said no to a lot of things, and look where you are now. Congratulations. Outstanding. You're now on rung number 8, maybe even 9 of the ladder. Get fired up.
Yeah. All right, so now to our featured question. So our question, just to remind you, is I just got started with my monthly budget. It's really tight. What are some ways I can save money in my budget?
Oh, yeah. So get that pencil out. Start scribbling some stuff down. Be prepared to make some phone calls from your car as you're driving. Just pause this podcast. If you get to one that you say, that applies to me, and make the call. Do whatever you need to do, then pick it back up. Okay? That's how I'm telling you all to listen to this. So I think it'll be very helpful to you. And so I put them in categories. And the first one is low effort, right now savings. And so kind of share the definition of that.
Yeah, so this doesn't require approval or lots of phone calls, which I personally like. It allows you to immediately begin saving money. So there's a few examples. So one is cable and internet, cell phone. So I'll list off a couple and then we can talk about them. So cable, internet, cell phone, groceries, restaurants, babysitting, oil change, spending money, and subscriptions like Netflix, Hulu, Spotify, Pandora, and gym memberships.
Absolutely. And so let's break those down as you're listening to them. So cable. When is the last time you called your cable company? If you have a cable company, I'm talking about Fios, Xfinity, Spectrum, DirecTV, AT&T Uverse. Yeah. Well, I don't know what it is that you have, but if you have that, when is the last time you called for a better deal? Because I'm telling you right now, you can save money. You can check online, see what they're offering new people, and call and ask for that rate. They're going to tell you no and tell them, well, look, here's the deal. I'm going to become a new customer if you do not do this, because I can't believe you would treat me, a loyal customer who pays my bill on time every time, and you'll make me pay more than somebody you've never had a relationship with. Come on.
Yep.
Save me some money.
We're actually doing this right now with our internet.
Yeah?
So we've made the phone call multiple times, and they've said no. And I think they're getting like, they used to be like, no. And then you ask again, and they're like, okay, maybe, sure, we'll give it to you.
Yeah.
But then I think we've done that too many times now where they're like, yeah, just no.
You're in the special file.
Yeah. They're like, oh, they're calling again. And so we're going to have to cancel it.
Yeah.
But the tricky part is there's never a good time to really cancel your internet.
Yeah, they make it to where there's never any fun time, but you have to be willing to do this. And so I've shut off mine before.
Yeah.
And then I got the new rate.
Yep.
And so listen, what are you willing to do to, I mean, if it's $50 a month difference, That is $600 a year of after-tax take-home pay. You would have to have $1,000 raise to make up that difference.
Yeah.
And so I encourage you, think about this. If you we're answering the question, I've got a tight monthly budget. Where are areas I can save money? Look, I don't have any problem with cable. I love DirecTV. I've had DirecTV for quite a while. But when they start cranking up the rate, I call, get a discounted rate. If not, I shut it off for a while. It doesn't matter to me as much as making sure I'm a good steward of my money and I'm getting a deal.
Yeah.
I want a deal. And so your cell phone, same thing. A lot of cell phone companies, AT&T, Verizon, Sprint, you can go online and T-Mobile, you can update your subscription right there and get a better deal. You don't have to talk to any human to do that. Groceries and restaurants. You don't have to talk to any human other than if you're married, you've got somebody else in the cash envelope to be able to save money on groceries. Because go with the list.
Yes.
Shop the sales.
Yeah.
Right?
Shop Aldi.
Leave the kids at home.
Yeah.
Shop Aldi or Lidl if you have one of those close to home. One of the things I encourage you to do is leave the spender at home. Don't go hungry. Things like that will help you save money on groceries. I remember when I first did this, I saved $200 a month on groceries alone. Just by going to cash envelopes, going with the list, and leaving me at home because I'm the spender. Restaurants is really important. You got to save money. Listen, they serve huge portions at most restaurants. Share a meal.
Yeah.
Make sure you could order the lunch portion a lot of times. You can order water.
Yeah.
That'll save you a ton of money. And also, don't go.
It's true.
That's an option as well.
Yeah, we have a lot of friends, they love to eat out. So lunches a lot of times. And Jordan and I just go home. And then, or if we do decide to go out for dinner, we usually split because it's huge portions. You can add an extra side in there and it's not too bad. Or
Absolutely.
I have friends that make fun of me because I always take food home. I'm like the queen of leftovers, but it's food I paid for. I'm not leaving it there. So why not split your meal in half before you start, eat half of it, take the other half home.
Wow. So you ate a quarter of the meal there. They get fired up.
Well, that's not if me and Jordan aren't splitting. If I'm getting one by myself, I'm going to.
There we go. So another one is an oil change. I think an oil change every 3,000 miles is something they marketed from the oil companies. I change mine every 6,000 to 7,000 miles. I have done this and drove all my cars more than 250,000 miles with no issues. Doesn't mean I don't check my oil along the way, but I think that's a great way to save money. And then, of course, subscriptions. Netflix, Hulu, Spotify, Pandora, the gym. I mean, I just recently... a year ago, I got the 1-year Sirius XM. I activated it on my wife's vehicle as a Christmas present for her.
Yeah.
I set the notice that, hey, they're going to crank the rate in December. And it goes, instead of like $60 for the year, they charge you like $17 or $21 a month.
Wowzers.
And it goes to automatic charges. Yeah. Well, I got busy at Christmas, so the call didn't happen, and there goes the charge. And so I called them in January and said, hey, look, this charge is here, and I just want to cancel it, and I don't know what's going on of how come you charge so much more per month than this introductory rate. I don't want this. Yeah. Shut it off. And so they started that process, and then somehow magically they found a way to make 6 months for $30. They refunded the last 2 months that they charged the extra amount for. And I'm telling you, at the end of 6 months, I've made it to where my card is not attached to it. It's just going to have to go off. Yeah. Because I'm not interested in paying that ridiculous of a fee. Yeah. So make sure you check it out. Those are low effort. So think about it as you're driving your car today. It's Monday. And I know you wait. You're standing by when this podcast episode releases. Everybody just waits. They cannot wait. And it's Monday. Where could you save money right now? What is one call you can make, one online thing where you could adjust it, and it would save you $50 a month, $40 a month, $30 a month? Go do that right now, and then come back and listen to this next part of the savings, which is going to require a little bit more effort. But I want you to see some savings right now. I'm a man of action. I like you taking action with your money. So do that right now, and then come back, and we're going to go to section number 2. What's that? Section number 2 is some effort required. Yeah. So the some effort savings, these require some effort, but the savings will begin to appear within the next month or two. So a couple of examples we have. The first one is a 0% balance transfer credit card. That's right. Yep. And so you got to apply for that online. Sometimes they'll respond immediately. Other times it's a little bit delayed response. And then, of course, it moves the balance over. They charge maybe 3% transfer fee. So it takes you about a month or two to really see the impact. But after it gets rolling, it's a substantial savings.
Yep.
Give an example. Somebody has a $5,000 credit card balance at 19.99% interest. So that's about 20% interest on the nose. So that means you're paying about $83 a month of interest, or $83 a month of interest per month. By rolling to a 0% balance transfer card, you literally just saved $83 a month, $1,000 a year. And but with a 3% transfer fee, it's $150. So it'll take you 2 months to get ahead of where you were.
Right.
So that's why we call this some effort, some time type savings. And of course, we have a link to the 0% balance transfer credit card offers that we keep running on our website. That's a great way to save money. And it's one of those hidden ones where you see no impact to your personal budget until all of a sudden the minimum payment is way less, but you're actually making more progress than when you're paying the bigger payment with all that interest in there.
Yeah, and we see success stories all the time of people who are able to do this and the impact that it made to their finances. So that could be you.
That's right.
Yep. So the next one is with this one that requires some effort is insurance. So home and auto.
Yeah. So your home and auto insurance is one, you have to call the insurance agent.
Yep.
And you have to call multiple ones. In fact, we have a link on our website where you can fill out a form and it will go to all the insurance agents in your area. But caveat emptor, buyer beware. It is going to, you're going to get 700 phone calls and emails. But you know what? 15 minutes or less could save you. Well, you already knew that. Guess what day it is? Hump day. No, but here's the deal. Go get new quotes, bundle your insurance together, and get quotes from 2 name brand companies and at least 1 independent insurance agent. And the tip that I would tell you is don't tell them what you're paying right now.
Yep.
Just say, I want a deal, and allow your current insurance agent to quote it too and say, look, I'm going elsewhere. I want a deal.
Yep.
And it's amazing how much you can save. The average person can save $500 to $750 a year just by getting new insurance quotes.
Yep. We're doing this right now.
Get fired up.
Yep. Okay, so the next one, number 3, is more effort savings. So these require a lot more effort. So one example is the car payment.
Yeah. And so these require more effort, and I might say maybe have more emotion. And so a car payment, if you have a big honking car payment, big honking car debt, and you're like, you know what, I'm sick and tired of paying $458 a month on a car payment when I can't even hardly like put food on the table. It may be time to break up with the car.
Yeah.
I know you love the car, but is it worth paying $458 a month every single month? I mean, you need to figure out how to get rid of that car. Let's say you have $18,000 owed on the car and you could sell it for $14,000. Well, you're upside down on that car. That's what they would call that. You have negative equity of $4,000. Well, how do you fix that problem, Joe? I'm upside down equity. I hear this all the time. We'll add this to the list of what drives me crazy. Well, how do you sell it? Well, you find a buyer who's willing to give you $14,000 for it, and then you do a signature loan at your local bank or credit union for the gap of $4,000 so that you can pay off the note when you sell it. And now you have a $4,000 note instead of an $18,000 note. And then you get an additional $2,000. So instead of borrowing $4,000, borrow $6,000 and buy yourself a $2,000, get out of debt, I'm sick of being broke car. Does a $2,000 car drive like an $18,000 car? No.
But
Does
it
it look
drives.
the same? Does it smell the same? No. Does it make the same sounds or lack of sounds? No. But let me tell you something. I've drove a car that is worth none dollars. I have a 1997 GMC 1500 Chevy. It's a GMC 1500 truck. I've had that thing. I bought it in 2001 for a 4-year-old vehicle. I've drove the wheels off of it, and the thing won't die. It just will not die. I barely touch the ignition. It fires up. And so don't tell me that you can't do this. My question is, how willing are you to live broke to broke to broke, and what are you willing to do different? Not everybody has to do this, but I'm just saying this is more effort savings, and it can be big money.
Yeah, and it's not forever, just for now.
That's right. And so that payment on $6,000 might be $200 a month, and you went from $458 to $200 a month. You freed up $258 a month. You know what? Throw $100 a month in there for car repairs, and so maybe you get to save $158 a month. But you know what? That's like $1,800 a year. That's kind of like a $2,400 a year pay raise.
Yeah.
Another one is mortgage payment. So sell your house.
Buy a cheaper
More
one.
emotional.
Yeah.
Buy cheaper. I don't like it.
And health insurance.
And health insurance is another one. Health insurance can be very costly, very agonizing to switch it. You want to make sure your caregivers are the same. Might require more effort, but you could save a lot of money on that.
Yep. Okay. And so number 4, always challenge your expenses.
Yes. So always challenge your expenses. As you're putting together your budget, challenge everything. Make the phone call. Ask how you could save money. Seek wisdom. What is uncomfortable for you is not uncomfortable for your provider. So when you call and ask DirecTV to cut out the expense, that's not uncomfortable for them. That person gets 700 of those calls a week. So don't make it uncomfortable for you. You're asking for a deal. They know exactly why you're calling. Get a deal for your money. And let me tell you, you may have other things in your life that made sense way back then. They don't make sense today. So this is just one last dig. If you have a home phone, I have one question. Why? And so I encourage you to go through all these. Maybe rattle off some of these, Megan, again, and take these off on your head. Which ones do you need to go address, podcast listeners? And then we want to hear your success stories.
Yes.
So rattle them off.
Yep. So a couple of the low effort right now savings could be cable, internet, cell phone, groceries, restaurant, babysitting, oil change, spending money, or different subscriptions. So maybe that's you. So maybe do a little rewind and listen to section number 1 again. Number 2 is some effort savings. So these require some effort and they begin to appear within the next month or two. So like the 0% balance transfer credit card or your home and auto insurance. Number 3 is more effort required savings. So these require a lot more effort and they might be a little bit more emotional, but the savings is large. So maybe a car payment, a mortgage payment, or health insurance.
That's right. And always challenge these. If you want to have help and you want to be challenged to do this over a span of time, I encourage you to check out the Savings Challenge. The Savings Challenge is going to be launching in the month of February. We want you to be a part of it. It's really low cost to be a part of it, and you can save a ton of money. The average person who does it will save $1,000 or more in their budget per year, and we really want to help get that information to you. We expand on these and additional tips and then show you how to be able to continue this for the long term. They can sign up for that how?
Yes, so I will include a link in the show notes for that you can just click on that and sign up instantly. It will take you to the page. If you have more questions about it, it will tell you all about it. It will tell you what you get when you sign up, all that kind of stuff. So,
awesome.
Yep, just a link in the show notes. So for our next episode, it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to talk about debt. Who doesn't love talking about debt? So specifically, is all debt equal? So we're going to explore different types of debt and share ways to evaluate debt decisions most people face. It's going to be an episode that will challenge you in your approach to managing money. So can't wait.
Can't wait for it.
Yep.
And if you like today's episode, please help us get this podcast to others who could benefit. You can do it by quickly rating our podcast and leaving a review. These ratings and reviews help others discover us and help us make the podcast better for you, our beloved listeners. And if you've implemented one of our tips, please share your success stories with us by emailing them to info@iwbnin.com or hitting us up on any of our social media channels, Facebook, Instagram, or the like. So we'll finish with this. Benjamin Franklin said, "A penny saved is a penny earned." I say false. A penny saved is 1.33 earned because he left out taxes. Get fired up and have a great week.
Thanks so much for listening to this episode of the Monday Money Tip Podcast, presented by I Was Broke, Now I'm Not. If you enjoyed today's episode, please leave a review and subscribe. And for more great content and to stay up to date, visit iwbnin.com. We'll catch you next time.